going on, everyone? Going to take the history. Coming to you for another haunted carpool discussion video. Kind of came up with this idea a couple days ago when I had that epiphany when I was waiting for dinner. And, I thought, what? I'm not seeing enough discussions about different concepts within the field of the paranormal. A lot of the concepts have been specifically about, different locations and potentially the validity of these locations, but not really a whole lot beyond that. So, many of these discussion videos I've been posting have been half me trying to evaluate my thoughts on these different concepts, as well as trying to take and to reach out to each and every one of you to kind of see what your thoughts were as well. As well as stated before, a lot of times people will do these videos with forums. They'll just write out their questions on different social media platforms. But I believe there's a lot of validity to that. But it's always difficult sometimes to get your point across, as well as to take and make sure that you're not lost. Your ideas and intentions were not lost in translation. So today I'm looking at the idea of orbs. Orbs are one of those ideas going back to the very beginnings of the paranormal research. Orbs have always been there. This idea of these little supersonic little balls of energy that are believed to be intelligent in nature and are remnants of spirits of a time gone by. Orbs have been one of the most controversial concepts, and entities in the supernatural realm, mainly because there's a lot of questions about whether or not we fully can understand what an orb is. From a supernatural standpoint, most people look at an orb as being a ball of energy. Essentially, there's been energy that's been trapped in time and space that's been left over from an individual who has passed on. And the idea is that this orb has some intelligent properties in the sense that it can carry on its own flight pattern, but it doesn't have the ability to become a full-blown apparition. Either it doesn't have enough energy, it doesn't have the right conditions, or what have you. The biggest problem is a lot of times people have issues trying to differentiate between what's an orb and what's just a ball of dust that's caught in the air traps of the AC system. So it always begs the question, how do we ensure that what we're capturing on these photographs are actually remnants left over from supernatural beings? I remember when I first started doing any type of paranormal investigating, any type of ghost hunting, or however you want to refer to it as, I remember taking and capturing photographs of different locations, and catching an orb on a photograph, to me, out the gate, was like catching a full-body apparition. There'd be a picture of something, and right next to an individual, there is an orb. There's a spirit next to that person. As you evolve and get further and more well-versed in the subject matter, you start to realize that not all little balls of white substance are actually spirits. In many cases, it could be something as simple as a fly that's being exposed from the flash. It could be a ball of dust that's been caught up in the AC vent. It could be it could be a dandelion petal floating through the air. And, how do we ensure, I'm a believer. I believe in the supernatural, something that I've been covering since I was like 5-6 years old. But there's always a question of how do we prove to the skeptics without a reasonable doubt that what the evidence we present to them is in fact true. Some people would say you could literally have a spirit sit down and have a conversation with someone who's a skeptic, and they may still have different answers to the question. It's kind of like in the movie The Santa Claus with Tim Allen, when Judge Reinhold's character Neil comes out of the kitchen and sees Tim Allen's character as Santa Claus, he's like, Scott, Neil, Santa? It's okay, Neil. It's like that scene, no matter what you do, his mind is blown and he cannot wrap his head around the fact that his wife's ex-husband is now the jolly old present carrier of Santa Claus. So, just another one of these quick videos, just kind of seeing what your thoughts were on the topic. What do you think about orbs? Do you believe that an orb is a valid piece of evidence to prove that there could potentially be some type of supernatural entity? Or do you think that an orb is too much of a gray area for us to stake our reputations on? Those of you who go out on investigations and share evidence with people, what are your thoughts when it comes to orbs? Is an orb something that you view as being a valid piece of evidence? Or do you draw the line with an orb, saying that something you may think is potentially being some type of entity there, but not something that you're willing to stake, giving to the client, saying that you have supernatural entities in your home? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, continue to look for the history and film. I'm thinking about maybe doing a separate channel for these types of videos. Let me know what you think. Till next time.